process of industrial sickness. Same way you see here, healthy unit tending towards sickness and incipient of sickness and sick. The three parameters you have to take consider for industrial sickness. First one is cash profit, that is positive. You have more profit. Net working capital positive. Net worth positive. So all the three are good means it is a healthy unit. Tending towards sickness, you see, net working capital is positive, net worth is positive, profit is negative. So compared to last year, the profit is negative. So there should be an alert to you saying that the profit has declined. So the unit is going towards sickness. And incipient of sickness, you see, two or more of the three are positive or negative. And sick means all are negative. Profit is negative, no profit, no capital, no net worth. Everything is going to be negative. So when two or more is negative, you call it as incipient of sickness, and when all are negative, you call it as a perfectly sick unit. So you are going to classify them based on these three parameters. First one is going to be cash profit. Next one is net working capital, and next one is net worth. Cash profit, you know how much profit you get after recovering back your investment. I told you, right? You invested 1 lakh, you got back 1.5 lakhs. So 50,000 is your cash profit. That is positive. Net working capital. So totally, I invested 1 lakh. I got 1 lakh back. I have 50,000 back. So net working capital is 2.5 lakhs. A net worth of the company after selling everything, you can have to evaluate. So when the healthy unit means everything is positive. Hence, trending towards sickness means profit alone is reducing, but working capital and net worth are going to be completely positive. Or two or more negative, we are going to call it as incipient of sickness, and all are negative, we are going to call it as a sick unit. Okay. The process of industrial sickness. So how you can what are the parameters by which you can judge whether the industrial sickness is there or not for an industry? We are considering the same four cases: healthy or normal, towards sickness, incipient of sickness, and sick. First one, functional area. It is normal and efficient. The functional areas are very good, performing efficiently, and you are generating huge amount of profit. Towards sickness means initial operation. Operation means reduction in profit, and you find a deviation in functional area which is causing the reduction in profit. Incipient of sickness means deterioration, complete deterioration. Sick means the functional area is becoming inefficient. Finance or revenue, you see, generating profit and cash profit is largely positive. Decline in profit during last year, loss you are having, anticipating loss this year also. So the cash profit is going to be negative. Cash loss in last year, current year also it is negative. Cash loss last year, current year, next year, everything we will have cash loss, so cash profit will be negative. So only in the normal case the cash profit is positive. So regarding all the other cases, the cash profit is going to be negative. Ratio, current ratio should be greater than 1, or debt to equity ratio should be satisfactory. So here the current ratio is greater than 1, the current ratio equal to 1. So deterioration is anticipated in the current year, and the current ratio is less than 1. So it is getting worst. Net worth negative, negative, positive, positive. So first two case, even though in the second case profit is negative, the net worth is positive. But the third and fourth case, you see, it is going to be negative and negative. So these are the different ways of telling whether you have sickness in your enterprise or not. Based on the different numerical parameters, you can come to a conclusion whether the industrial sickness is there in your unit or not. So what is the process of industrial sickness? What are the mathematical ways of assessing industrial sickness? First one is current ratio you find. So current ratio is current asset by current liability. The current ratio, previously you see the current ratio should be greater than 1, or I can say asset should be greater than liability. Assets are all your income, liability is all your expense. You can have it like that. So the current ratio should be greater than 1 for a normal business. So previous table you see the current ratio is greater than 1 for the first two cases. Third case, you see current ratio equal to 1, asset equal to liability, which means that slowly the company is having no profit at all, profit equal to loss. And last case, current ratio is less than 1 means asset is less than liability, or the liability is more and the asset is going to be less, or I can say that the company is going to have a huge amount of loss, but even though it has a very minimal number of assets. So first one, you say whether the unit is sick or not based on one factor called as current ratio, and current ratio is the ratio of current asset to current liability. Next one is the debt equity ratio. So as the name indicates, it is equal to debt by equity. So if this ratio is greater than one, majority of the assets are financed through debt. So debt by equity greater than one means debt is greater than equity. So the debt factor is high. So everything you are going to outsource using debt. If it is less than one means majority is financed through equity. So debt to equity ratio is expected to be very, very less. You have to have this debt to equity ratio very, very less. So rather than getting everything financed through debt, you finance it everything to equity. That should be the safe option for you. Finally, the net worth. Net worth is total asset minus total liability. The total profit what you receive minus the total liability. So net worth is positive means you are reaping profit. Net worth is negative means you are into the sickness. So you see here, we are also net worth is positive for the first two case because in the first case profit is very good. Second case reduction in profit, but net worth is still positive. But last two case you see net worth is negative, which means that the liability is dominating compared to your assets. So the three factors which by which you can mathematically say whether industrial sickness has entered your industry, entered your enterprise or not is based on current ratio, which is current asset by current liability, debt equity ratio given by debt by equity, and last one net worth given by total assets minus total liability. And you should clearly know what is the significance and what numerical values these three things should possess. The current ratio should be as high as possible, debt equity ratio should be as low as possible, net worth should be highly positive. So that is the three numerical values these three terms should possess.